life when you're married and you become a family. You have to do what's best for you, and you get to buy into it. And I just love you both. And there's a lot.
Well, Lorna and Jay, we're really going to miss you both. And Lorna, I'm going to miss going to the donut shop with you. Jay, I'm going to miss your looking at your time. We'll see you though if we ever come to Stanley Theater. And I know you're going to come back and visit.
Lorna, I love you. And I'll always miss you. And I wish the very best for you.
Say about or to Jay and Lorna as a remembrance. Not that we'll never see him again. Come on, Lorna. Fill up the food line. Okay, so you want to pay close attention to all these experiences.
Okay. There was a young couple named Lorna and Jay. If you knew them at all, what else can we say? We'll try to explain, we'll try to converse. It don't get better, it only gets worse. Lorna pioneered and Jay had the school. When they weren't at the hall, they tried to be cool. Out of field service, we liked seeing their faces because at coffee breaks, they knew the best places. There was 10 elders, but now there is 9. If Lorna's going with him, that will be fine. Lorna's from England and Jay is from here. Wherever they move, they will always be near. We'd like them to stay and try to remain, but Jay, he just can't. He flies in an airplane. From Hilliard Congregation to Grandview they went. It's been over a year with us they spent. We're sorry we cried and had to get nosy, but that's the life story of Lorna and Jay Choate.
Yeah, there's some other people who had some experiences they wanted to relate. Does anyone want to relate theirs now?
How do you
This is for Jay and Lorna. From me. In Columbus, Ohio, I was born and raised. Staying at home is where I spent most of my days. When a couple of guys that were up to some good started talking to me about a job that was good. I got into a conversation with my mom that was good. She said, "You're going to take a job in the neighborhood." I whistled for my car, and when it came near, the license plate said airport and the plane was in the mirror. All I could think of is that the job sounded fair. I said, "Well, forget it. Your car take me to the airport right there." I pulled up to the port about 7 or 8, and I yelled to my car, "See you later." I looked at my kingdom. I was finally there. Yo, to sit on my seat as a flyer of Ohio.
Okay, I remember when we first learned the truth. It was early on in our youth. We were going to witness and be bold, and what a conversation we did hold. It was Christmas time, and we said, "Well, what about the tree?" And that's all we could think of. Our intentions were good and from the heart, but we sure needed practice on our part. We had some rough times, you and me. No one knows what that's like except we. But what makes me happy as can be, is to see you and Lorna serve Jehovah so faithfully. How can you forget some of our sayings? We would pick them up from people we were staying. Whenever you are down and out, you know, remember this saying. Just say, "Wait a minute, bro." We remember a time when Canada you were at. You were staying a few weeks and that was that. Then you called us up to stay a little longer, you see, because you saw someone there that made your heart half bleed. Jay, how can you forget when he was by your side on your wedding day and you were nervous and could cry? But when you were ready to take that step, who became nervous? Calvin, and boy, he could sweat. I'll never forget with all my heart when I had my baby how Lorna took part in taking care of us so very well. Every time I think of it, my heart does swell. Lorna, remember our trip to Tennessee? We had much We had such fun, you and me. We stayed up all night, and what conversations we could keep. But boy, did we both need some sleep. Jay, remember when the drama you were in? Somebody said we could pass for twins. But take my advice so you won't sin. Let me wear the makeup and you wear the grin. All of these are good memories we've had. You both can have them with you when you're sad. But please always remember this. We love you both and you will be missed.
What an act to follow. Where is she? No way. Okay, this is about Lorna. Now, knowing Lorna, for most of us, especially for me, has given me a whole new vocabulary. Crumbs are not what you clean off the floor. Cheerios are not just for breakfast. And picky has nothing to do with your nose. And if her hair's a mess, and her lipstick's too red, she claims that she resembles a gollywog, but don't ever mention it.
One, when I went to the door with Lorna, there was a man that came to the door, and she says, "Oh, I hope I didn't keep you from anything." And he goes, "Oh, no, I was just eating some chocolate." And she goes, "Oh, chocolate? What kind of chocolate?" And I'm like, "Oh my goodness." But she got away with it, and she did place magazines with the man. Another one, always when we left, when we said goodbye after service, was Lorna would always have her hand out and say, "Cheerio," and we would say, "Cornflakes." And what was the other one? I think that was about the only two I could think of right at hand. But Lorna and Jay, we're really going to miss you. And I think I could speak for all of us. We love you very much. And your encouragement and the love. It's your shelter. We'll be missed.
No, it's just cute, as Lorna always is. I'm going to miss having people on a Thursday afternoon sometimes rousing me from a nap or rapping at the door and standing there looking real hungry. And I would have Lorna and some of her pioneer friends asking for goodies, as Lorna would put it. So usually I kept some snacks in a jar, and I could go into the cabinet and hand them out to them and send them on their way and let them visit a little bit. Chocolate was always her favorite. I'm going to miss having to wipe your lipstick off of Zane's cheek. and Gray. And Jay, we're going to miss, well, at first I'll have to tell you, which you probably knew, we thought you were pretty strict in the school, but we all learned an awful lot from you. And we're going to miss you a lot. What I like too is getting to know you as the other side of Jay. And I won't go into some of the funny little stories, but he's not just all serious. He's been so much a part of our congregation. He's built us up a lot. You both have. And we've all said, everybody that I've spoken to about you leaving, there's going to be a hole left in our congregation when you go. Thank you.
Unless someone else has anything, that's probably it. If we're real nice to them the rest of the evening, they might even come visit us one day. Oh, yeah, you want to tell us about New Jersey? One more.
You didn't forget your chocolate, so before you leave, here you go.
Now, maybe you could tell us about your new home and your new area where you're going to live.
Anyway, just thought I'd tell you a little bit about where we're going and when, and an interesting experience that happened that we really feel illustrates the power of prayer. First of all, we're going to live in Lyndhurst, New Jersey, and actually that area is like one big city. There's lots of little towns, but they all just blend in together. You can't really see a distinction from one to the other unless you happen to see the sign. It says where one ends and the other begins. But it's really kind of interesting to illustrate how close we are to the world headquarters. There's a Bethelite in our congregation, and also our assembly hall is the Stanley Theater. And we'll be going there for our circuit assembly in March, so that we're looking forward to. The area is very urban and very, well, compared to most parts of Columbus, pretty congested, lots of traffic, quite a melting pot of cultures and ethnic groups. There's a lot of Italians, so Tony, you can visit. There's lots of Slavic people, some from the Caribbean, Orientals, just quite a mixture of individuals, and then your stock New Jerseyans, I suppose, as well. So it's going to be interesting to work that territory, and we're looking forward to that. Finding an apartment, though, the cost of living there is quite a bit different than here, and that was difficult. At one point we thought, well, let's go to the lower price end of the scale, which is still a lot higher than here, and see what we find. And we weren't too impressed with what we found, so we went up a little higher. Let me tell you the story about the place that we found and how it worked out, to illustrate the power of prayer. Of course, this whole undertaking didn't happen overnight. We've been working toward this goal for quite a long time. Didn't know that we were going to end up going to New Jersey, but we've been praying on it and working toward expanding our service. This is going to allow me to regular Missouri Pioneer, by the way. Anyway, though, we went there looking for a place. We started out, the first day we looked at several apartments. We saw one that seemed to fit the bill. But we had just gotten started, so we wanted to keep going. We didn't know how those compare to others. So we kept going, looking at other places. And finally, by Wednesday, we really felt that, well, we might as well take that one that we liked. It seemed like it would work out the best. And we kept praying. We even prayed, together, as well as individually about it. So on Wednesday, we called the realtor and told her that we wanted the place. She said that she'd have to contact the owners and she'd get back with us. A few minutes later, a sister called and said she found an apartment for us that we could look at. And that was owned by our brother and so forth. And we were saying, yeah, well, we've already found a place. But, thank you, and we'll take his number down in case we need it. A little bit later, the realtor called. Oh, by the way, we stopped at that point and said a prayer together again that Jehovah would guide us. The realtor called back. The apartment had already been taken that morning, the one that we wanted. So we were really kind of down at that point. We went out that evening and looked at some more and just didn't find anything. So we thought, well, let's set an appointment and go visit this brother and see what this apartment's like that he's got. There were a lot of concerns that we had, like how would Lorna find her way. This apartment is a little bit away from the congregation territory, just a little bit, but Lorna was concerned about how would she find her way to the congregation territory and what kind of an area was it and so forth. Well, we went there and the place was really to our liking. We can really work well there, and because the brother and sister who owned it knew we were witnesses as well, they actually gave us a little break on the rent. Turns out their daughter, who is a pioneer, and her husband, who's an auxiliary pioneer, lived downstairs. So we'll live upstairs from them. So it'll be an all-witness building, which is really nice. And we found out that one of the pioneer brothers that Lorna had worked with during the week lives right around the corner, and that they'll be able to carpool to the territory. And so this was looking better all the time and everything. So we, of course, finalized all the transactions and everything. And as we were leaving, the wife, as we were heading for the door, said, "Let me ask you a personal question if you don't mind." He said, "Sure." She said, "Were you praying for an apartment?" And we said, "Well, yes, quite a bit." She goes, "We were praying for tenants." Isn't that interesting? Just shows you, how Jehovah can work things out. So we're really quite pleased with how that came about. Of course, we're sad to be leaving all of you. And you're welcome to come visit. Of course, not all at once. I don't think we have quite that much room, but definitely come visit. We're really close to, to the world headquarters as well as the Manhattan area. And be happy to show you around. We'll be leaving on the 15th of the month. Actually, that's when we move our things, although the next 2 weeks I'll have to be out there working. So Lorna will be here in town, but I'll be out there and back on weekends. So, of course, if anybody's interested in help, well, maybe this isn't the time to ask for that. I'll mention that later. Anyway, though, we really have enjoyed the time that we spent with the Hilliard Congregation and the Grandview Congregation. We've really grown up here, I think, as a couple and in Jehovah's service. I know as an elder, I gained some valuable experience working with you brothers on the body as well as the congregation as a whole. It's been a wonderful experience, and certainly we're going to miss all of you. But you'll always be in our hearts, and guess what? I have to come back every 6 months for training to Columbus, so you'll probably see me relatively often. We'll try to get by and visit the congregation when we're in town. So, thank you very much for everything. May Jehovah continue to bless you.
But I hope and pray that you continue to do the things that are upbuilding and encouraging, and you encourage the congregation that you're going to now as much as you've encouraged everybody that you've been around here in the past. I love you very much, and I pray that you do Jehovah's will clear to the end, and keep praying that it comes soon. Next.
You're there, and we're here.
We miss you.
Lorna, if I could have talked, I would have told you that no one ever taught me anything like you taught me, like how to pour a proper cup of tea. No one's ever been mean to me like you have in service, kicking me, and the stories that I could tell. But I didn't want to be down. I wanted it to be a happy party. What are the other things I could have shared about Lorna? So many mean things you've done to me. I really am going to miss you, and we'll see you. And I know that you can go anywhere and be really happy, and you'll be. Oh, that's weird. I thought she was in New Jersey. I thought you were there. No, you'll do great in your new home, and we'll see you soon.
Yes, I'm already on there. Tell me about the holiday scene. No, just remember Santa Claus. and remember the dog. And remember my card. And we love you all. Good night.
I just want you to know that you can abuse all of the people wherever you're going to be. I can't take it anymore. All the stories you shut on my leg, and then the circuit overseer would come out and say, "Oh, Lorna, you're such a dear sister." And then you would look at me and say, "You make people think you're really sweet, but I know the other side. But I know you'll be an asset wherever you are, and we'll miss you, but we'll see you in May."